So I handed in my notice. I sold everything, sold my car, left my flat, and booked a one-way ticket to Australia.
What?
I know, and the weird thing is that Australia I'd never really been drawn to Australia before. I'd been, but I was like, yeah, it's a nice place, and that was about it. So off I went, booking my one-way ticket, and so the week before I flew, I sort of moved back in with my mum for a bit because I had nowhere else to go. Just about to get on the plane to Australia, 3 days beforehand, I meet Chris, who I'm still with now.
Wow.
We have a little toddler, he's 2.
I love it.
So we met, and I sort of said to him, this is crazy. I'm going to Australia. There's no point in us even talking, to be honest. But we did, and we had a great date, and I went back to my mum that very evening. I said, I'm going to marry this guy. And she said, oh, you're drinking too much. I said, no, I'm being serious. Like, I'm going to marry him. I said, okay. And he said, well, I bought 2 stars in the sky, and I've named one Hoof and one Paw.
What?
So yeah, I know, honestly, it's the most romantic thing anyone's ever done for me. And he said, I've named one Hoof, one Paw, so that if you ever feel lonely wherever you are in the world, you just know you need to look up and know that you'll never be alone.
Okay, so perfect. So for everybody listening, what inspired you to start Hoof and Paw, and how did you come up with the name for your company?
Well, it's a long story. I hope you're ready.
Ready.
So what inspired me? Right. So this is going back to 2016. And I was working in London, actually working as a gallery manager in quite a stressful job, but one I absolutely loved. And over the years, I think it just really ground me down.
Yeah.
Grind me down, you know what I mean? And it just wasn't sustainable for me to keep doing.
Yeah.
And it was more of just a knowing something had to change. So it went from, working every day, partying every night, that sort of London mentality, which everyone I was surrounded with was doing. And it was, but then one day I just woke up and thought, no, I can't and do not want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I handed in my notice. I sold everything, sold my car, left my flat, and booked a one-way ticket to Australia.
What?
I know, and the weird thing is that Australia I'd never really been drawn to Australia before. I'd been, but I was like, yeah, it's a nice place, and that was about it. So off I went, booking my one-way ticket, and so the week before I flew, I sort of moved back in with my mum for a bit because I had nowhere else to go, and then went to Australia. And it wasn't until I was there that I really realised how much of the spiritual side of me I had been suppressing all that time when I was in London, and I'd forgotten really to look more within myself and focus more on my own energy and how that's gonna help going forward and help others as well. So I spent a lot of time, because I didn't have a plan when I was over there. I went with no job, and I didn't really know anyone. I knew one person over there. It wasn't until I was on the plane that I thought, oh my God, what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm insane. So I just thought, well, what's the worst that can happen? I can always come back. And so I was there, and I'd been there for a few months, and I loved the energy. I fell in love with the energy so much. I was living right on Bondi Beach.
Nice.
Everything I needed. And I was just constantly thinking at the back of my mind, like, I wish I could just bottle this energy up and take it everywhere with me.
Yeah.
And that's when the cogs started to turn. And
Wow.
I think, okay, how is this possible? Can you actually bottle up an energy?
Mhm.
And then that was the beginnings of Hoof and Paw and the crystal candle idea.
That is incredible.
So yeah, and then when you bring in the name of it, so the name is quite an unusual name, like to think of a well-being business. Hoof and Paw, what, like, you can't really see the connection there. And I get asked that question a lot. So this again, it's a very personal story to me. So it goes back to me being back in the UK and just about to get on the plane to Australia. 3 days beforehand, I meet Chris, who I'm still with now.
Wow.
We have a little toddler, he's 2.
I love it.
So we met, and I sort of said to him, this is crazy. I'm going to Australia. There's no point in us even talking, to be honest. But we did, and we had a great date. And I went back to my mum that very evening. I said, I'm going to marry this guy. And she said, oh, you're drinking too much. I said, no, I'm being serious. Like, I'm going to marry him. She was like, okay, well, we'll see. So anyway.
So inspired.
Fast forward to being in Australia, we're still keeping in touch, but there's only so much you can talk about when you speak every day for 6 months.
Yeah.
The conversation starts to run a
Yes.
bit. And then you turn to really silly conversations. And one of them was, if you could be any animal, what would you be? And I said, well, obviously I'd be a unicorn. And he said, okay, well, yeah, I'd be a wolf. And then we made a bit of a joke about it and said, oh, well, we wouldn't be able to hold hands. We'd have to be hoof and paw, and it'd be a bit awkward. And the story and then it was, conversation moved on. And then a week later, he then called me and said, look, I've done something. I've got you something. I said, okay. And he said, well, I bought 2 stars in the sky, and I've named one hoof and one paw.
What?
So yeah, I know, honestly, it's the most romantic thing anyone's ever done for me. And he said, I've named one hoof, one paw, so that if you ever feel lonely wherever you are in the world, you just know you need to look up and know that you'll never be alone.
I'm gonna cry.
It was the sweetest thing, yeah, honestly. And I just thought, oh, who is this guy? Like, where have you been?
Thank you all my life.
So that was not long after that. The idea for the candle business was going around my head, and I thought, well, if I'm going to do this, I need a name. And to me, the stars in the sky, the hoof and paw, everything that went with it, the love, the light, the magic, everything, that is really what my brand is about. And so it just made sense for me to choose it. So as weird as it is, I love it.
I love that, and it's so unique. That's truly one of the most beautiful and inspirational stories I've ever heard of a brand starting. That's really incredible. Yeah, it truly is. And the name and the fact that you're still with your boyfriend and that you've got your child now, it's incredible. It's like a movie.
It is. I was like, this is mad.
I love it. It's beautiful, and I love the name. So what does your typical day look like now? Like, how many hours a day do you dedicate to your business?
Yeah, so I mean, it has changed a lot over the years. Before Christmas and during the lockdown and everything, it was really tough. And I was working every evening I could because of the childcare situation. And sometimes it would be 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And for a well-being brand, that's not great. It's not great. So that I knew I quickly needed to change.
Yeah.
And now we've got some childcare in place, and Alfie goes to his grandparents, which is great. And I am now managing to work. So I still work weekends, and then I work Mondays and Wednesdays. So that's my typical week.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it could range from anything. So yesterday, for example, I had a phone call with another small business. We're working on a collaboration, fingers crossed. go ahead nicely, and did some photography for the crystals, made a batch of candles. So yeah, every day differs.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love hearing stories like these. Like, it really helps inspire anybody listening. They can start their own brand from home too and be as successful as you are. That's amazing.
Oh.
How did you know when you had the right idea, and were there any mistakes you wish you could have avoided?
When I had the right idea. Okay, so when I was thinking about this idea initially, I wanted to make sure that it was going to be a unique thing. So I did a lot of market research at the time, and strangely enough, there were a couple of companies in Australia already making crystal candles. I was like, okay, well, what about the UK? And there was, at the time, I mean, this was 2016, there was no one. I certainly couldn't find anyone, and I did a lot of research. And especially no one, I mean, even the brands in Australia, they were amazing, but they weren't using essential oils with their candles, which to me is a really important part of the candle and of the well-being element. Yeah. So that's when I knew, I thought, right, I've got to roll with it, and I've got to get this going. Incredible. So it was a slow start, but yeah. And in terms of things to avoid, to be honest, like, it's just little silly things. Yeah. So, you know, like not ordering enough oils and then going to make a batch, you know, oh my God, like, it's so frustrating. But it does make me think, actually, maybe I should be a bit more adventurous and take more risks. Yeah, yeah. Maybe that would be my thing to do this year.
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah. So for any new entrepreneurs, what words of wisdom would you give to them?
I would say just go for it. I mean, if you're anything like me, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. So I like to get everything, like all my ducks in a row, everything, you know, and you just don't need to, because actually what I've realized over the years is that it's ever changing anyway. I'm constantly changing things and adapting it and tweaking it, and, you know, with the packaging and the photography and this, that, and the other. So just go out there, get yourself an Instagram page or a Facebook page, and just start. You got to start, haven't you? So, and the other thing I would say is to get that community, that small business community around you, because that is something that really, really helped me, because it can also be a really lonely place. You're working on your own. Yeah. And there's so many different factors to the business. So you're not just making a product, but you've got to do everything else that goes with running a business, like the marketing and the photography and the packaging, you know, and then all the infrastructure and stuff. So without that small business community to help you along the way, I think it can be really overwhelming. Yeah. So yeah, I would definitely say that would be my two tips.
That's really great advice. Just start where you are. And it's true, so many people hold off beginning because they don't feel ready yet. And you're right, just begin, and then you'll learn along the way, and then definitely build a community.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it, love it. And in terms of marketing, do you have any tips to reach a broader audience and develop a marketing strategy for anyone starting out?
So I really need to up my game with my marketing.
I found you.
Honestly, for a long time, my marketing strategy was post on Instagram, post on Facebook, and cross your business, hope you get a sale. That is and was my marketing strategy. Yeah. Until last year, that I really started to up my game a little bit, and I need to keep doing that. So I've started on the ads. I've started on the Facebook ads and the Instagram ads, which have really, really helped. And then this year, I'm going to be working a bit more with influencers and PR as well. So that it'll be an interesting year for me to see what happens, because it's been one of those things for me that I've just gone.
I hear you, right? Like, hopefully God will do the work. But it's been amazing. I found you. I can't even remember where I initially, like, was I typing in candles or crystals? But I think I came across you on Instagram or Google. But I love your page. So many of your crystals were sold out, and I was like, I just keep checking back, and they're all sold out.
Oh my God, I know. And I need to, I've got lots more beautiful ones I've just got in this week. I really online. So yeah, have a look.
Amazing. I cannot wait to buy them. What is your favorite part of running your company? And then what would you say is the most challenging part of being a business owner?
Yeah, okay. So my favorite part, aside from the wellness side of it, which is where the passion lies, as cheesy as this sounds, it's my customers, really,
Love it.
because I like they keep me going on a daily basis. Chats that I have with people on Instagram, and it just, yeah. And do you know what? I've been working in retail the majority of my life, and I can say that, like, I definitely have the best customers. They are so nice. They really are.
I love that.
That is definitely like one of the highlights of doing what I do, because that's the reason why I do it anyway.
Yeah.
And, the tricky side for me, it's got to be numbers. Me and numbers, we don't gel. We do not have a good time together. So, and that is such an important part of business. So yeah, whether it's working out your margins or doing your tax return, or, you know, all of that sort of, I'm really needing to push myself with it. And like, I'm sat there in front of the computer like, I can do this, I can do this.
I hear you.
That's the biggest struggle, but I'm getting there. And you know, until it gets to the stage where I can then just offload that to a bookkeeper and accountant. I'll be doing that. Yeah,
I love it. You're doing the best with what you have, and it's doing so well. Incredible. What does wellness mean to you, and what methods do you personally like to indulge in?
Okay, so wellness to me is basically energy. Yeah. So there's energy everywhere, right? There's energy in everything, you know, even in the air, it's all flying around, and in us. But the energy in us is constantly changing. So we really need to protect that as best as we can. But there are so many tools now that we can use to help rebalance our energy. So if we're having an off day or whatever, and it's not all plain sailing, like this is life, and this is what we're here to grow and learn. So yeah, for me, wellness is just trying to maintain that balance and using the tools that we have to do that. So for me, over the years, I've been doing lots of different things. So even from the age of 7, I had a diary and journaling all the time. And so through teenage years, that was amazing, because it just really got everything out. Yes. You know, so that was brilliant. And then obviously the crystals and the candles now, but also meditation, and I work a lot with the moon as well. So I do a lot of full moon rituals, full moon meditations, releasing the energy that's not needed, and bringing in new, fresh energy. I love that. So yeah, so there's lots of things. And actually, I've just started, and this is funny, because I think a lot of people assume I do yoga, and I don't. I have just started a few weeks ago, actually. So it's an evolving thing for me, and I use sort of anything around me at the time that I feel like will help. So
I love that. You really like the embodiment of your company. It just goes hand in hand.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like it's wonderful. You're so at peace, and then your company, it's amazing. I love it. It's really in tune with each other. So I love that you chose to incorporate crystals in your candles. And so for everybody else, like you just said, on your wellness journey, why did you decide to do this? And what experience do you think this brings to your customers? Like having the crystal in the candle, what difference do you think that makes to it?
Yeah, so like going back to Australia, me wanting to bottle up that energy, it wasn't so much, it was more that the crystal came before the candle. So I was there thinking, right, crystals, that's what they do. They harness energy. That's what they hold. And so to bring that to the next level and physically having like a bottle of it, I then started to think about candles. And when you light a candle, it physically, like the scent and the aroma, it lifts the room, it fills it to the entire space, so the energy fills the room. Now with a lot of candles, you have fragrance oils, which is very different to what I do. So the fragrance oils are synthetic, so they're actually designed to work with a flame. So they're not designed to work with your well-being, but they are designed with a flame. So when you bring essential oils into the mix, and when the essential oils are used, because as a lot of people know, essential oils are very therapeutic and for aromatherapy. So when you use those with crystals, it's almost like a double whammy. So you've got, so when I blend all my own oils and my own blends, my own blends, and every blend I make sure that it mirrors up and enhances the properties of every crystal.
Wow.
So you've got the crystal in your candle, you've got the energy of the crystal, and then you've also got the aromatherapy benefits lifting into the room as well.
I love it.
To give you that overall effect. So whether you're working on your confidence, your self-esteem, self-love, communication, anxiety, stress, any of those things, I want a candle to be able to help you with that as a tool, to be able to just get you that one step closer to where you want to be.
I love that. That is just so powerful. And like I said, I've got your rose quartz and I can't wait to get some more. Do you have a favorite product that you would recommend to like a first-time buyer?
Ooh, first-time buyer. Do you know what? I always recommend the amethyst candle as a first time, because for me, like the amethyst is a de-stress. It works with helping you relax and calm and just switch off your mind, and to light that in the evening, whoever you are, whatever you're doing, it's just really, really nice, and it will set you up for the best night's sleep.
I love that. So looking forward to the future, where do you see your company, and do you have any more exciting plans coming up?
Yeah, so for this year, I'm going to finish the collection. So eventually there'll be 7 candles. So I've got 5 at the minute, so there'll be 2 left I need to do. So in the end, there'll be one basically working for each energy point in your body, so you've got a tool for each one. And then I'd hopefully like to think I will be moving into a premises or unit of some sort, because to me it's difficult to be able to scale when you're still working from home. I mean, you can, but it's a bit of a tricky balance. So that'd be the next step. And then just as a brand as a whole going forward, I really want to bring more of the wellness aspect into it. So I'll be really looking at how to do that, and even collaborating with other small wellbeing businesses as well. So amazing.
I love it. It all sounds so exciting. I'm just so confident that it's going to continue to grow, especially as more people are tapping into their well-being. And being in lockdown, the COVID, people are paying so much more attention to their mental health and how important it is. So yeah, your company's definitely
you're exactly right. And it's not so much a woo-woo thing anymore, you know.
Exactly.
And that was one of the other reasons I wanted to bring the element of crystals and aromatherapy in a candle, because it's a bit more mainstream when you think of it as a candle, isn't it? So, and it's not so overwhelming and scary, and it's
you're right, because like almost everyone has a candle. So like,
that looks like a nice candle, and then whether you know it or not, like it's working in the background.
I love it.
That good
right
energy.
Just ease you in. I love it. So with your wonderful brand, Hoof and Paw, providing well-being candles with essential oils and crystals, and you're growing so much for the future and have already done so well, what does it mean to you to truly give your all or nothing?
Ooh, wow. I just can't see myself not doing it. It is everything. Like, I honestly feel like I'm on the right path now. Like, this is what I am meant to be doing. Whether it will evolve, and it probably will evolve, but at the end of the day, I just want to be able to try and help people. So whether it's just like one candle at a time and spreading that little bit of light, because, you know, unless it's that phrase, isn't it, that what's the phrase? You can't pour from an empty cup.
I love that.
And so if you're filled with light, then you can pass that on. So like, and then they'll be filled with light, and then it goes on and on and on and on. So that essentially with the candle is what I'm trying to do, and trying to like give that little bit of light.
Wow. I love it.
For me, it's everything. Yeah.
Yeah. That's incredible. And you can tell like you're so engrossed with your brand, and you know when you're on the right purpose, you know, you wake up and you're excited. And I love that. I love that.
Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you so much for your time, Madeleine.
Oh, it's great chatting to you.
Amazing. Thank you. Trying to do my best to become like the UK version of Oprah.
I love it. I love what you're doing. And I've watched some of your interviews as well. And I just think it's great. Yeah, honestly. I'm like, why me? Like, well, you've got all these amazing people.
Oh, thank you. Which ones did you watch?
Oh my God, I can't remember now. I was really late last night and I was like, oh.
Thank you. You're up there. Like you have your brand, and I'm really doing like a business series this time. So everyone that started a successful company, and there are so many gems and words of wisdom that you dropped that newcomers can take from you, and young people. And yeah, you're amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're so welcome.
Well, yeah, it was a pleasure to do it, and I'm glad I did do it. So
yay! Yes, I hope it helped with confidence and everything. I am trying to like step out of my comfort zone myself. So we've helped each other today.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, it's so daunting. I guess everyone's got their own level of that they're trying to break through, aren't they?
Yeah.
So yeah, this is part of mine. So yeah.
Soon you'll be doing your own TED talk.
Oh God, no.
So funny. Thank you so much for your time, and I'll let you get back to your wonderful day.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.